As we start this video today, I would really like to start by saying, if you are a short-term guy who hates correction, this may not be something you really want to watch. But this right now is what the market exactly shows you. And it's not only in one asset. It's not only in Bitcoin. You are literally observing this all across the board. And this particular pattern does happen to show some positive signs for XRP. Now, you can be surprised how this event will actually turn out. But before that, you need to know that it's not an assumption. This is taken from the XRP price charts. This is the XRP price history, not just once, again and again. And while correcting, especially XRP, does show you a clear pattern of the ABC, but the B to C leg is painful. So right now, when you look at the short-term chart of XRP and understand the fact that you are in that C leg, we really don't know where the bottom is going to be. But historically speaking, we have always found support at the low of the last wave to the upside. So on the short term, XRP does show you it's about to go test point for 2.41 range. If you're a buyer, a net buyer of this asset, you're going to be happy. But if you have been a buyer for a very long time and you're waiting with your XRP bag, this is what you have to understand. The market, the structure, it's showing you different ability. But after this correction, what comes is the most critical part. Yes, we are looking for a great correction here. This is the best case for Bitcoin. Maybe it's about to bounce off from $25,000. And this is the worst case scenario. And this scenario matches with the entire crypto market history. Then we go back to look at different asset class like silver. In 2022, 2023, go back in 2016, 2017, it's all the same. You get to see that in the microstructure. You get to see that in the macro structure. Now we'll detail about where we think XRP is going, where we think Bitcoin and Ether is going, because this kind of gives you a great picture of where the entire market structure is about to go. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. If you're wondering, like I have a lot of different assets, and what are those possibilities for those assets, say it's XLM, say it's HBAR, you name it, and you have those doubts, look for the price action history, and if they have followed this in the past, most likely they are going to do the same this time around. And in the group where literally this month's digest, I'm going to sit through, take as much assets as possible, maybe 20, 30, 40 assets, and go through the exact same thing to understand the fact that we are looking for something towards the support and where we are eyeing as the next roof, right? In next 3 to 5 days, we're going to start doing that and complete that and give to you guys in the group. So if you are there, you're going to get that. So for the time being, we are starting with Bitcoin. Say this is the Bitcoin chart we are observing right now. It's a 3-day chart. We understand the fact that we have completed wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. Great. So usually, based on what we have seen in XRP, based on what we have seen in the crypto market as a whole, commodities, wherever we have gone, after this 3 wave, you come back down. And that's a violent panic move, at least in XRP. Now then we actually look at Bitcoin itself. Last time we have completed the 1, 2, 3 move to the upside. Yes, we did correct 20%, but the idea here is that 20% came after the micro or nano 3-wave structure here. So when you complete a higher time frame 3-wave structure, most likely your correction should be deeper, right? If that's so, this is a huge possibility, because whatever we have monitored here, you break through this level and reach the previous support or just below that. That means you may actually see some level of pain, some level of liquidations happening in the crypto market over next 2 to 3 weeks for sure. Because if Bitcoin is about to drop to 20,000, wow, that's a lot more pain to come. This is $27,000 Bitcoin right now, and we are talking about the possibility of it dropping to 25 or all the way to 21. That's the worst case scenario, and the best case, if that happens, it would be something like this. But historically speaking, we have always seen that going down. Now, why am I optimistic about XRP in the same time environment? Because XRP just showed us it did 1, 2, 3, and it started its correction, great, A, B, C to the downside. Just the issue is the ABC has been violent to the downside, right? So on the short-term horizon, what we are looking for in the XRP is somewhere close to the previous support range, which also happens to be the resistance. So that support resistance range of 0.41, 0.42, that range is what we are eyeing as a best support. If we bounce before that, it shows there is a lot of buyers who are interested in this asset. But historically speaking, we are observing the fact that we may drop to that level. Now, this 1, 2, 3 structure, we don't have the bottom yet. That's why I dropped it here. But I do believe that we may have more room to test here. And if that plays out, now, understand the fact you completed this nano structure inside a macro structure like this. So you are about to run back higher. So if you are getting out of this asset thinking, okay, Bitcoin is about to drop to 20,000, 21,000, this is going to 0.1 or 0.2, that can be a wrong assumption because it actually shows you the fact that we are following a wave structure. Whether it's in the nano or micro, we are still following that structure, which means on the macro, after we complete this correction, let it be to 0.42, 0.4, while we start the next leg up, it is the roof. That's the fifth wave to the upside or the third impulsive move in that nano structure. After that, yes, agreed, we are going to correct back down, and that correction can be somewhere here. Depending on the bottom of that correction, most likely it's going to be somewhere here. That is where we are going to start the next run up, which means you have plenty of room to run. Now, historically, if we actually notice how this event plays out, the first run up, if you observe clearly, you can note the fact that it took some time. One, the momentum to the upside was slower. Whereas, next time, when XRP did move up, the time taken was shorter. One, the move to the upside was bigger. That's important. Now, after that, the next one, the time taken was even shorter than the last one, and the volatility was violent. Great. Now that's one. You go back again. So you're looking for the first leg up, you're looking for the second leg up, and you understand the fact that, okay, so in the first 3-wave structure, you get this longer time horizons, which is slowly reducing the time taken and increasing the upside. Next one, it's not consuming that amount of time. Why? Because the bullishness already exists in the market. Each bounce kind of creates some FOMO, and that's where people are running into. That's why you actually see this possibility. Now take all of those into account and say, okay, we are going to have the same exact correction this time, fine. But after that, it is about to run for another high. How long do you think this is going to actually take? Now, this is about XRP, but if you actually consider the fact that we may also do a thought process here, like, okay, we do this structure, great, after which we will actually correct back down. And that correction, usually if it's in XRP, does look something like this, great. And if you start the next wave structure after completing this correction here, around 0.45, 0.5, you may again start the next wave structure. Now, we don't know how high it's going to be or how long it's going to take, but the way I'm looking at it, most likely that is going to be by this year. There is a huge possibility that that is happening because second time when you play out, it's shorter than the last one. One. 2, the momentum to the upside is massive. So here was like around 60%, 70%, right? Yeah, 66%. So next time you're most likely looking for like 180, 3x of that in each impulse, increasing from there. Because if you actually note the fact that we actually did the run up here, which was 100% move, after which we doubled that, and after which on the third wave, we did double the wave 2. Usually that doesn't happen, but historically speaking, just for XRP, XLM, few assets, we note the fact that, okay, the wave 3 is not that small. It is actually bigger and violent. So while we look for the same fact, now we have stayed conservative, saying, okay, the wave 3 here is going to be like 60, 66%. But based on whatever we have seen, we understand the fact that, okay, it may not be like that. It can be even higher. Now, to get proper clarity of, exact numbers, one of the things which we can easily do is go on to a short-term chart and look for what exactly has done in the recent past. So here we are looking at last month, March. Now we want to actually see like what was the wave 2? It was 30% run up. Great. What was the wave 3? It was 39%. So it was even bigger than wave 2. Great. Now you go back again into that macro structure, understanding the fact that, okay, if that's true, then most likely what we are going to observe after this correction from here is going to be something bigger, right? Maybe 70%, maybe 80%, who knows? But that actually takes you to a level of 0.7, 0.75, and from there you start to correct back down. Now put that into picture. If you actually do that wave structure here, 1, 2, 3, your correction come back down here, you go back up to 0.75, and now you're about to do a ABC correction. Say XRP actually does this, that panic level, all of those come back into picture. Say we correct back down, all the way down here. From there, we want to actually see if we are actually following the similar structure. The first one is going to be slow, and most likely it's going to break through this resistance and come back and test that resistance. That's how usually we see these things play out. Now, this is not a reference to time. This is about the impulse, right? Next one we are going to look for, we want to actually understand the fact that how high these can be. And we are trying to look for the basics. Say if we see a 45% run up in the first one, then usually we are going to see 2 to 3 times of that. So 120, 130% can be the next leg to the upside in that wave, right? We put that into 120 and that's like $1.2. We correct back down after the same. So after that, when we go up, you kind of get the picture here. Okay, this is just the starting point. And as soon as you zoom out, you start to note the fact, okay, we are actually looking for something like this, a structure which is moving to the upside. Now, this is not representing where each waves are going to be, the targets. This is showing you the fact that, yes, we are looking for upside. Now, that's just XRP, right? You go back, you look at different assets. Say, macro, micro, silver actually does show you this fact. So we take that into account and go look at Ether. And that's where a lot of panic is like. And I'm like, okay, if that is the case, then there is going to be some level of panic. People may get kicked out here. That would not be a pleasing event to watch in the market. But if you're prepared, if you already understand the fact that, okay, there can be something worse coming in the market on the short-term narrative, and when you zoom out, it would just look like a historical pattern which is starting to burst to the upside, then you regret the fact that I should have understood this before, right? And that's what we really don't want to miss. If that's the opportunity we are eyeing for, we really don't want to miss this level of run up. Now, you can do the exact same for Ether. You can do the exact same for almost all the assets in this market. And you really want to see like, okay, what they have done. So here we are. And the difference here compared to XRP and Ether, in my opinion, is that it usually is showing you a 1, 2, 3 structure, and the correction here happens in a way that it goes back up, making a new high, and then the new leg down, and then that new leg down is about the wave 2 correction leg. So it's not that big panic. Now, the previous one which we have shown is plotting it based on what Bitcoin is doing, based on what XRP is doing, and silver. So it is, yes, the macro structure. Now we again go back like, okay, if that's the case, what are we looking at? And one of the reasons why we actually plotted this is inside the recent past, we also notice the fact that Ether has done this, right? Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and it followed Bitcoin dropping below this level. That was panic, right? That did show us some level of panic. So now, as we zoom out and understand the fact that, okay, if that's true, and it is true, we are observing it in the market, we just would be looking for something similar, right? There can be panic, and it would not directly be just one leg to the downside for sure. We are going to do these structure for sure, or we are going to consolidate it down like this. But in next 2 weeks towards 4 weeks, there is going to be some level of opportunities coming into the market. If you are working one job, try even managing dry powder. If not, find something extra, do that, make dry powder, be ready, there is going to be opportunity. And this can only get invalidated with the fact that the market actually goes back up, break this level, which right now seems like, okay, that's having a lower odds in this market structure. So guys, if you're receiving value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.